Is it just me, or is there's some weird energy around this festive season? I don't know if any of you have noticed anything weird, but I feel there's something strange happening out there. I feel it in my bones and in my blood. And while I wait for the kettle to boil, that's that noise in the background. You probably hear it click any time now. I decided to do this because a watched kettle never boils, and so I'm trying my hardest not to watch the cunt. But yeah. I usually don't start calling it the festive season. I don't make preparations for Christmas until it used to be after the 4th, which is my birthday, and now it's after the 5th because that's my youngest son's birthday, Ethan's. And yeah, that just keeps pushing further and further into December as more people in my family, I suppose. Because family is like a subjective term. Family is basically who you consider family. So I mean, we all could be one family, all us Earthlings. We're the Earthling family of human Earthling beings. The kettle's about to stop. I swear I didn't look at it. You're just going to hear the click. Ready? Hear it bubbling? Bubble. Toil and trouble. What's that off? Bubble. There it is. Just a gentle click. It's not like that. Used to be a sound in all kitchens once upon a time. So did that. That was a turkey gobble, and sometimes you'll hear a rooster as well. These are familiar sounds, aren't they? Same as this. That's a knock. I myself am not a postman, so I knocked 3 times. Postmans generally only knock twice. It's funny that no one installed a door onto for Instagram. People can just wander in, fucking have a look around my place, make suggestions, sometimes really, really intense suggestions to outside forces, and they outsource those suggestions by, I don't know, breaking into my house and taking photos and then trying to... Anyway, I don't want to get into that. What I wanted to talk about was this door here. This door has a lot of memories in my life. I can't exactly remember. I think maybe like there's a scratch in it somewhere. There's a tiny little flaw in this mirror, and I'm actually forgotten where it is. But the client, nevertheless, was not happy with the little flaw, the poor darling. And so I graciously went and replaced it with a new one that didn't have an almost imperceptible flaw in it. And so now it stays here on my door, which I also installed the door. Like the actual physical door, I put it where it is. There wasn't a door here. There was a door somewhere else. I can't even remember where, but it was to the left or the right. Now it's in the center of the wall. I also put on the architraves around it, and I did a lot of things to do with this door to build a house for my family, something that most men my age are yet to do. Either have a family or build a house or install a door. That's probably why they think that everything's just a-okay. They think that the world is going on just as it should, that the bounty of pornographic images and free music is just as it should be, and it's a great exchange for their tasks that they do for themselves. Like, I don't know, I don't have personally any gold around, so I guess the gold miners aren't really helping me. I don't use any new steel, or very little, and that's usually for business purposes. So that's kind of a tax deduction. So you're not really helping me, and you're not making the steel, just digging the ore up. The door agrees. Who else is out there? Construction workers. I don't often go down to the Big Smoke anymore because there's a lot of communists down there. So I try and stay out of that. So I'm not really even benefiting from the buildings you may have built, let alone the buildings I actually fucking built. which was before the days of big cranes and automatic lifting machines that make your job very easy. So, yeah, I guess this is just a bit of a lecture on expectations and historical norms and what should be free and what shouldn't be free. That guy that Justin Timberlake played in The Social Network, he's really got a lot to answer for, doesn't he? It's unfortunate that he was crucial to the building of Facebook because I think some of his fucking ideas got installed in the foundation, and it's lucky that Zuck and his people are very good at going underground and sorting out those foundations and rejigging the whole fucking thing. Otherwise, Facebook and Instagram might go the way of the dinosaur. But yeah, music's not meant to be free. It's one of the most respected, highest art forms in human history that we've developed. It's not meant to be free. It's like a car. Yeah, just because it's there doesn't mean it's yours. And there's been some issues with the whole idea of music, isn't there? And whose fault is it? It's really hard to tell because there is an expectation on all sides. The main reason for this whole problem is going to land firmly in the laps of all the DJs out there. If you're a DJ, you need to stop being a DJ now. There are far too many of you, and you're basically all fuckwits. I didn't want to have to be the one to tell you, but the two turntable thing that was invented by a pedophile, and it's a tool, global tool, hypnosis tool, invented by a pedophile and used by pedophiles in training, I'm guessing. That's why all the hand gestures and all the monkey business up behind the decks. They increasingly have a lust to press play in front of as many borderline children. So it's when they're almost children, and sometimes it's into their non-children. And they just love that. They love that. I think they got that idea from Led Zeppelin, but with Led Zeppelin, there wasn't any hypnosis going on. There was just beautiful music. And the hypnosis part, that's the real dodgy bit. It's it's not great. So that's it. Now we're not going to have as many DJs unless you're a really good one, like Fatboy Slim or I don't know, other ones that actually do a good job musically. And I'm not going to be the one to decide on that because I don't like really most of them, but there's just way too many of them. And it's stuffed up the entire world. Now, Spotify. I guess when looking at a market, see, this is the thing to know. I'm a musician like third, I think. I'm a dad. First of all, I'm a dad. That's why I've done all this. That's why you haven't done all of it. Because you don't have any responsibilities. And that hasn't forged your bones, blood, and sinew into fucking liquid titanium. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. It's really fun to have titanium bones and blood and sinew, to be able to see into the future. It's actually really fun, and you missed out because you didn't have children because you were taking ecstasy and pretending to be Fatboy Slim, which we're not. So Spotify. This one's going on YouTube now because I've got to share the love. I have to share the love between the companies that have done some good and some bad. And I guess since that's my logo now, I kind of have to forgive them for that. And I have to explore the greater market conditions that have led to this atrocious situation where the most talented musicians in our societies are basically homeless peasants now, which has always kind of existed. There's always been lots of people who want to be musicians that aren't good at it. And they have quite often taken to peasantry to earn a living. I remember there was a guy that used to busk in Northbridge, and he was a nice guy, but he just wasn't very good. And one day I was having a conversation with him, and he told me how much money he was making from begging on the street with a guitar. And it was quite astonishing. He actually was making like a pretty serious amount of money by doing that. He was basically one of the worst musicians I've ever heard. On the flip side of that, some of the best musicians I've ever heard are competing to play gigs for free in venues that are handing fucking ethanol out methanol? Which one is it? Which one kills people and which one doesn't? I think they both kill people, quite a lot of people. Yeah, handing that substance out at lowest rock bottom prices, commoditizing the entire fucking drunkenness of our entire country through those doors. Same as the DJs, that's what they're doing. They're selling alcohol to your children and trying to fuck them. So you can see how the larger market forces are really leading to some out of control social de-evolution. The problem that comes with social de-evolution is sometimes within social de-evolution you get individual evolution that then has, like, say, a prey instinct, and if that person experienced maybe nearly being murdered by human beings, he may evolve special abilities, and he may, I don't know, figure out a way to feed off the species or the subspecies that tried to eradicate him from the earth. And I guess when there's a NASA supercomputer in that evolutionary process, shit gets really fucking crazy really quickly. And I guess that's what's happening. I guess that's why I'm picking up on all these weird vibes in the world. Mostly good vibes, because I spend a lot of time making sure that all my vibes are good. Because if my vibes are bad, I'm a little bit worried about what might happen. Just a little bit. And so that's why I'm trying to stay really calm and present my argument is it studiously or astudiously? I'll have to Google that later, but it's that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to be really cautious and careful with my words and my actions, so that I don't wipe out a country accidentally. I think if I got bitten by a spider and I was watching the wrong YouTube video, maybe something really fucking terrible could happen. So that's why I'm like a monk in here, just like keeping really calm until this whole fucking thing blows over. I lost my hair lacquer, so I'm using a capo. This is my favorite capo. It says Kaiser on it, like Kaiser. Why does that fucking ring a bell? I can't remember. I think it's off a movie. Is my hair getting? It's nice, isn't it now? There's one thing that you get from standing in front of mirrors too much, usually installing them in terrible hot conditions for people that are unappreciative and expectant. But yeah, you get to learn to admire your own image, which is good. So what are we going to do? Well, everyone just needs to develop a taste for live music. That's his only demand? He wants people to go to gigs? Yeah, go to gigs. Go to gigs and pay the musicians first. And if you're a venue, you just sell the drinks. You're lucky that anyone chooses to play in your fucking filthy ethanol dealership. There's a couple of other ways to help. Maybe we could consider that it's been how many years since the Beatles now, and we still have multi-million-dollar institutions to play orchestral music, which is great. Employs a bunch of people, employs a lot of universities, a lot of well-off people get to play music for a living because those places are available to them to play in, and then they get paid by people that have money. And now we all have money, it's just that everyone's spending it on meth and nobody's spending it on music and musicians. That's because you've been brainwashed by pornography to believe that you are some type of emperor with a cornucopia of concubine in your palm and a shrinking penis in the other palm. That's right, porn destroys your brain. And I was just sitting there destroying my brain for all those years, and as soon as I stopped, holy moly, jolly, bajolies, gollies, ghoulies. Of course, you're going to have the near-death experience and a divine intervention via once in 10,000 year eclipse to be able to get to where I am, but that's okay. Just stop watching porn and you'll get to somewhere way better than where you are. And if you introduce some divinely transposed music by the best musicians in your area, that's right, the more local the musician is, the more condensed that effect will be. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that like something out of science fiction? Or is it just cutting edge science? I think it's the latter. I think it's cutting edge science, and it makes a whole lot of sense considering it's one of the highest forms of human communication. And so the more local the musician, the higher adaptability and the higher vibration, energy transfer, communication through still unproven vibrational receptors in the brain that will be proven shortly, I'm guessing. But yeah, that's important as well. There's got local music, so you have to go. And there should be music pretty much playing everywhere. Like there should be you go to Europe, there's like a square where people play music. It's really important. You didn't think it was because you're too drunk. You're too drunk, and and your sock is under your bed is too filled with fucking semen. Sorry about all that. Takes one to know one, I guess. Isn't the world weird? I think it's always been weird. This is a particularly strange time. It's the head-on collision of cultural change. But there's really good airbags in the car, so you've maybe got a little bit of whiplash, but you pretty much make a full recovery and probably forget about most of the really, really terrifying things like very quickly and settle back into some type of normality. So if you feel like you're going to throw up, you feel like a terror running down the back of your neck, that's normal. That's all part of this process. It's not very often that you see one of whatever the fuck I am. And so you're welcome that I've decided to go with the peaceful strategy, because it was touch and go there. It was really touch and go. I don't exactly know what would have happened if I went underground. I'm guessing some gigantic, probably waves. I think gigantic waves would have killed you all, and I would have just casually just swum up through the wreckage and probably feasted on some rabbits that had washed up on the shore of my cave. Have you got a cave? No? Well, you better do as you're fucking told then. So what do we do? What else do we need to do? We need to listen to live music. You need to encourage live music. You need to plant trees. I think I've made that bit clear. It's down here in Australia, as you call it. It has a ring to it, so I quite like it. I think we might keep that. In Australia, we need way more trees. Again, it's pretty obvious. It's really fucking obvious. I guess you can, once you have a tree, you can then hang some of the shiny things you buy on the tree, and then everyone can see both your tree and the shiny things, which is what you all love. So that'll be fun. Interesting spider just rocked up. It looks like it's green with like red legs, and I haven't seen one of them before. So I guess we're all kind of having an experience together. Yeah, most things are going to stay exactly the same. This is like it's kind of just a once in a, I don't know, 40,000 year event. That's basically what I got told. Where like just a lot of things aligned in a certain way. And I did get a bit of a preview. I got a preview 7 or 8 years ago, which was a bit scary. And so there might be other people around you that are getting like previews of things, because that's what happens when we all kind of lift up. I think my focus and evolution, it's kind of like a rising tide. I've used that before. Rising tide lifts all ships. So some people might be experiencing some previews of the future, and if those people are trusting you enough to talk to you about those things, you should be very sensitive, because it's kind of can be very confronting. Although I think, based on what I've seen, a lot of those previews are going to be quite positive, because we're going into a positive future. We've kind of come like this. When we speak about the Dark Ages, we just had a way worse version of the Dark Ages, and that's going to start sinking in, but you'll be okay. Just don't drink too much alcohol, because the alcohol will make you want to die, I guess, and we don't want anyone to die anymore. It's again, sounds pretty simple, but a lot of people around the world have a whole lot of trouble with that. And the more trouble you have with not wanting people to die, the more likelihood that you're gonna die, basically. Yeah, because of the whole time thing. The time thing really makes that bit really easy, and so it's not a good idea to think too much or to plan too much about killing lots of human beings nowadays. In the glory days of now, that's going to send out a big distress signal, and that distress signal will always be answered. So, is there anything I'm forgetting? I guess form an orderly queue. Like, I really want to know who's going to get that number 4 CD. That is a gangster. It's going to be a gangster. Has to probably be the biggest gangster on earth. Second biggest gangster on earth. It's going to get that number 4, and then I guess form an orderly queue for the preceding 1,000 or so. Yeah. Don't fucking just be patient, and just bid responsibly. Don't bid more than what you want, because it is just a CD. It's a bit of plastic. It's not worth anything, and everything's there for free. So don't go crazy unless, you know what I mean. Only spend what you can. I don't encourage gluttony or gambling or anything like that. So just, you know what I mean. Like, everyone will get one if you want one. And so, except like, yeah, it can't. It's basically going to be interesting to see what happens with those, with the other two, with the number 2 and number 3. I don't know whether they're going to decide to keep the CD or whether they're going to sell it. But don't fucking pester them, eh? Because it's a gift. It's not really meant to be sold. So don't pester those individuals at all in any way. Otherwise, again, distress signal and then fucking... So that's the time. It is the time. I've finished the presentation. So basically, with any of the funds I make from selling these CDs, I'm gonna make these things, which is gonna be pretty cool. And I'm gonna plant lots of trees, and I'm gonna help musicians figure out how to sell their products, how to make money from their God-given talents, and how to convince all of you that paying your friend who's a musician to buy their CD is way better than, I don't know, any of the other things you spend money on. So, again, it's going to be an interesting birthday for me. I turned 38. Just flew by. 38. Already, I mean, way better than last year. Last year I was, I'd gotten out of jail. Again, didn't get any socks or jocks. Not throwing any blame there, but you know what I mean? Nevertheless, I don't think I could have done it without you, to the individual that I'm very subtly and very kind of carefully just being like, oh, where's my socks and jocks? What have you done for me lately? I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, better than last year. Probably infinitely, or close to infinitely better than last year. But if it wasn't for last year, I wouldn't be here. Isn't that weird? Yeah, there's almost something in that. Some type of secret in that. Don't tell Oprah. She'll steal it. I heard she's fucking good at stealing things. I heard that from Roseanne. Go and buy the Roseanne box set off Roseanne. Because that belongs to her now. Because I say so. Okay? Don't you agree, whoever owns it, that the Roseanne series wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for Roseanne? I think it would be. So don't steal that, Oprah. Yeah? And if you want to go back and watch Roseanne and have your own little time machine and watch a time when TV was actually interesting, then buy that, put it in your DVD player or your Blu-ray player. Because Roseanne's a fucking legend. She's a legend. The turkey agrees. Turkeys love Roseanne. So do I like anyone that has Anne connected to their first name. It's like a sister love that I have with Roseanne, but probably maybe she's like an auntie. Roseanne's like my auntie. Alrighty, I'm just going to wind the clock out so it gets to 30. I'm not superstitious. I could end it whenever I want. I don't have to wind it out to 30 minutes. But 30 minutes used to be how long TV shows were. So I guess I'll do that. I've got 15 seconds. What can I do that's interesting? Not a lot. I guess I'll just show you this. Pretty cool, eh? I think so too.